welcome to the Senior Hour, which is sponsored by Comfort Keepers in Home Care and Advanced Audiology. I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host,
Dr. Gene Dorio.
on your hometown station, 98.1 FM, AM 1220, KHTS. This is a show for, about, and by seniors, giving information to enhance one's quality of life. And our guest this morning is Shannon Avazian with Assisted Living Locators.
Good morning.
Welcome.
Good morning.
It's nice to have
Welcome
you.
back.
Thank you.
And later in the hour, we will be speaking with Nola Aronson of Advanced Audiology. And what are we going to talk about today?
I was hoping you'd have that topic, Barbara.
Well, Assisted Living Locators. What does that mean?
Well, we're referred to as a placement agent, and it's really a new term. So many people have never heard of that.
A placement agent?
A placement agent. And what that is we help find homes and placement needs where people may need assisted living.
Ah.
So basically, we're just here. It kind of works like a real estate agent with care manager skills. And what we do is we sit down with the family and we really find out what a person needs regarding care and budget and social requirements, type of the whole package, to see what they might need. A lot of families or a lot of seniors just need in-home care. And so we're there to be that person to say, no, you're fine at home. We think that's a recommendation. And, maybe it'd be a good idea to have someone come in once or twice a week and able to get the needs met by that, just the in-home care. And then there's sometimes where maybe they need more assistance than the in-home care, and that's where we can do some recommendations for assisted livings and really advise our clients what types of assisted livings are out there.
Like private homes?
Yeah, the
or
private
facilities?
Yeah, I would say at that stage it's usually the assisted livings, which are the big communities. The board and care is a better match for someone who needs more care.
Ah.
So if if our seniors are thriving and they just need some assistance with daily activities, whether it's maybe some help with the meal prep or just getting around, some social skills, maybe some medication management. The assisted living is a good fit because they can move into these big communities and have that care met, but also have the social activities of what, really they have to offer.
So let's make sure that we define the terms, because within the name of your program is assisted living, but also there is boarding cares and assisted livings and private homes, as Barbara mentioned. So we want our listeners to know there's a difference between them, and what we try in Santa Clarita to assure that our older adults are able to live in their homes for the rest of their life, aging in place. But it doesn't always work out, and problems tend to happen, and we have to define that. So going from one's own home into another arena is what you do. You try to make sure that that those older adults and their caregivers who realize there's a problem have a place to go. And we have, you had alluded to, we have nursing homes. And of course, I don't think too many older adults want to go into nursing homes. But above that are boarding cares, which are homes, and people live in those, there's residents who live there, maybe 3, 4, or 5, and food is made for them, and they are transported to doctor visits and things like that. So that's a home. Above that is assisted living. We have, I think, 4 or 5 in Santa Clarita, and those have common areas of eating, but you have your own apartment. And of course, private homes are something new. Communal type living is something new, and we can talk about that later. But that's a different arena for us that we are venturing, our society and community is venturing into as well. So that kind of defines it a little bit better so our listeners and caregivers and those who are interested can figure out when they are needed or when you guys are needed for them to help them figure out where's my loved one going to go.
For this morning on my way here, I just had a client who called me, and they were at Atria, and love Atria. Phenomenal, upscale, very, very nice community. And basically facing a crisis with the finances. And that's sometimes when I will get that call for maybe the boarding care. Boarding care would be the residential home that you spoke of. It is licensed for 6 residents, and it is usually a more fixed price. You'll be quoted a price, and that will include your care, your meals, medication management, everything you need at a one fixed price versus the assisted living communities. There's usually your rent price plus your level of care, so it kind of can fluctuate and go high.
Right. And boarding care is one of the added pluses for the boarding cares is that they the ratio of care, usually there's one caregiver to 2 or even 3, but they're monitoring your loved one right all the time on a daily basis. If there's a temperature, person has a temperature, they have a cough, a lot of times the doctors are alert or the family is alerted right away. So they're, watched over very carefully. With assisted living, you're living in your own place, and it's like living in your own home. So you don't, everybody's got to watch over the resident, but it's not as hands-on, eyes-on type of situation as a boarding care.
It's more of an apartment type situation.
The assisted livings are correct.
Yes.
Senior living, yes, definitely.
Which is
community.
pretty cool, and they do. The best part is they'll make your bed, they'll vacuum your your
that's true.
floors, they'll launder, and they make group meals, which is great also. Plus, they will take you to doctor's office visits and things like that. So there's a lot of pluses to it, and those are all the things that we worry about with our older adults as they get older. Go to their homes, you'll see that they haven't sometimes vacuumed in a long time, and the dishes are piling up, and I have 2 brothers, and our mom lived alone, and that started to happen, but we jumped on it right away because we took turns, and we had our own chores to vacuum. My brother vacuumed. I cleaned the kitchen up. I cleaned the bathroom up. We all did our chores to allow her to stay in her home.
It's so important, and that's really what we all want. We want our families and our clients to stay at home, and myself included. I kept my mom at home as long as she could until it became too dangerous for her to be at home anymore. And when the firemen gave me the wink, wink, like it's time to do something, that's when I had to step in, because if not, then it becomes a social service, or someone's going to step in and then take control of that situation. So we do everything we can to keep our senior at home, and then we look at other options when it becomes too much maybe to be at
Well,
home.
that's what I did with Russ. And fortunately, I had gotten long-term care insurance, which actually paid 1/3 of our bill a month. But there was someone there 24/7 because I couldn't physically handle him. As I think I told you before, the thing that triggered my getting the long-term care in for him is when he was in the bathroom and trying to stand up, and he started falling. I tried to catch him. We both fell.
Yeah.
And I thought, wait a minute, this cannot happen.
Right.
And fortunately, we had people coming in. They were in there 24/7.
And he didn't want to go to a nursing
No,
home.
absolutely
He was
not.
not going to go to a nursing
No,
home.
that was the last thing he wanted to do.
Yeah. So let me put in a shameless plug. today at the Senior Center, there will be a lecture, part of the Health and Wellness lecture series, and it's called Let's Put Grandma in a Nursing Home. And that's at 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock, and I will be the presenter. So that's my topic for today. Show up, because I will tell you how to keep your grandma and your grandpa out of a nursing home. That's the
There we
idea.
go.
Shameless plug. So today, Senior Center, 1 to 2 o'clock, an hour lecture, and I think you probably will learn a little bit, maybe a lot, yourself or for your loved ones, to figure out how to allow your loved ones to age in place, and to make sure that they don't end up in a nursing home, which I cannot recall ever any of my patients saying to me, I want to go to a nursing
Sure.
home. No one has ever said that to me. So it's got a bad rap because there are skilled nursing facilities that are very good, but there are others that, just hold down the ship for you as you're heading into the end of life. So is that good? As long as you're not suffering and in discomfort or in pain, maybe that's so.
Right.
But, there has to be a level that you want to sustain for your loved ones, so that they live still a good life, and you want to be able to find all your options and make sure that they live as best as they can within not just their financial means, but in their psychological needs and in their family group needs as well.
And I just had a client I toured with on Monday, and I hear this so often where people start, I don't know if it's maybe preparing for when someone starts to run out of money, but they start thinking Medi-Cal. And when they start talking about Medi-Cal, and they think automatically, well, Medi-Cal will pay for that nursing home, or Medi-Cal will pay for this. And I get calls like this all the time. And even if Medi-Cal will pay for some sort of nursing home, the client that I toured with on Monday literally was put on a waiting list, and 95 people. She was the 95th person.
Oh.
So now, thank God she's being proactive. She's heard the message. So we're looking at other options, because I work with other communities that will fit right within that low income price break. And I promise you, they are beautiful homes. They are safe homes that you will be thanking me, because when you look at maybe a Medi-Cal property, they're not pretty. They're not somewhere where you're going to feel safe and you're going to want to leave that family member. And so I work very diligently to find, other options. And so that's how I try to bridge for my clients. So when the time needs, and maybe they don't have all the income that maybe some other residents do in Santa Clarita, that we're able to fit that bill for them and find that need.
Another thing too is the home sharing.
Oh, absolutely.
Shared housing.
Yes, shared
From the
housing.
senior center.
Yes.
They have a brand new program, I believe, that
Very unique in Los Angeles County, and probably pretty unique throughout the United States right
Absolutely.
now. Because, we're the group that are doing this now, Robin Clow included, they have brought together these ideas and looked at all the aspects, the financial, the legal, the communication, and all the problems associated with it. It's not an easy task, but I know they did match someone already, and we tried to get another one involved, but that hasn't worked yet. So we are working on that, and it's totally different. That will be out there, but something I know, Shannon, you will be involved with in terms of understanding what homes have rooms to offer for some of our older adults.
Well, on a website, I want to throw out there, it's called Silver's Nest. And that is Silver's Nest. And I refer that quite often because so many people are not ready for the assisted living or the boarding care, but they're looking to be with other seniors. And that's housing sharing program. It's basically renting a room, but they're usually 50 and older, so you're with like-minded seniors, and I think it's a great resource for the
And
community.
that is also another area in this shared living situation where someone who needs a little extra help can be accommodated by the person whose home she is sharing with. And that is something else that needs to be looked into also, because they may not necessarily want to have somebody come into their home
Yeah.
to care for them,
Right.
but if they have it in this shared living situation,
Right.
maybe that person who's sharing her home might be able to assist that
Right, with some
person.
medication management
Yes,
or
that
just
kind of
something,
thing.
you know. I worked with one client, and that was the only thing she could not read the bottle,
Ooh.
you
Wow.
know, and it was really,
Usually
you know,
it's trying to open the bottle.
no, but she just couldn't read. She had macular degeneration,
Whatever it is,
and
yeah.
but that was the only thing, and it was so hard because in every other aspect she was fully, you know, capable. So she was trying to rent out her room on Craigslist, and I had to tell her, you know, please, you know, stop doing that
Don't
because
do
it's
that.
No,
dangerous.
that's dangerous.
It's just
Yeah,
dangerous.
Very
absolutely.
you know.
dangerous.
And
Well,
actually,
refer her to the senior center, shared housing.
she's
or
not
Robin.
in. She's actually in the AV, and so maybe they can model, you know, because I know the different senior centers are talking to each other. So that's
Yeah.
AV and Santa Clarita are
Yeah.
in communication together. So
Well, that's interesting
Yeah.
because I think that, you know, at least up here in the North LA County, we're going to have to be able to bring together the groups that are doing this. And Antelope Valley, you know, our senior center is helping with home delivered meals with them. And, you know, we're all in this together. We have to be a team in this effort.
That's
and
right.
For some people to make it political or financial or whatever it is, they want to kind of push it away or push it back. You know, I know personally I'm not going to allow that to happen. You know, all of us have to have thick skin, move forward, come up with ideas, be creative in these processes, and you know, make sure that no senior becomes homeless and every senior has a roof over their head.
absolutely,
And everyone is going to become a senior
absolutely.
at some point in their life, whether it's a young senior, a middle senior, or an older senior. That's going to happen no matter what. And we never know if and when we're going to need that assistance. I mean, and it's critical that everybody be aware that this is going to happen.
And it touches all of us, whether it's
Yes.
ourselves, it's our parents, it's our grandparents. That touches
Absolutely.
everybody.
Yes.
So
And it's a reflection of
us.
who we are. And, you know, I think we have a great community here with loving people. We have people on the left side, the right side, and down the middle. But we raise our children to do well, and they go off and they help, they flourish, and allow our nation to flourish. We are here in a great community, and we have to be able to sustain that. And we will do it with teamwork. We will do it together. So I'm anxiously awaiting all the developments that are taking place, Shannon, because I think your role in this is going to be so important to, you know, put the pieces together to allow our seniors to thrive and to do better and not, as I said, become homeless. You are going to be a part of that. Now, how do people get a hold of you?
the easiest way is just my telephone number. It's 661-544-1004.
661-544-1004.
04.
So
1004.
Perfect.
Terrific. Well, thank you, Shannon Avazian.
Well, thank
this
you.
has been great.
It's always an honor to be sitting on this panel with both of you.
Yes.
I mean that.
Yes.
Yes, thank you.
Yes. Assisted Living Locators. And that number again is 661-544-1004. Thank you again, and we look forward to seeing you the next time.
Thanks,
you.
Shannon.
Okay. I'm Barbara Carkin with my co-host, Dr. Jean Dorio, on your hometown station, 98.1 FM, AM 1220, KHTS.
Comfort Keepers provides your loved one with loving in-home care.
Miles McNamara, certified senior advisor and owner of Comfort Keepers in-home care.
Our caregivers can help you in your own home, enhancing independence, creating safety and comfort. Our Comfort Keepers provide companionship, meal preparation, medication reminders, assistance with personal care, and even transportation to doctor's appointments. If someone you love can use a helping hand at home, visit comfortkeepers.com.
Or call 287-4200.
Experience luxury senior living at Oakmont of Valencia, Oakmont's brand new community in Santa Clarita. At Oakmont of Valencia, residents will enjoy 5-star amenities, including state-of-the-art movie theaters, spacious custom-built apartment homes, and sweeping views of the valley, all close to shopping, restaurants, and medical centers. Enjoy resort-style living, professional concierge services, a luxurious salon and day spa, and world-class dining. At Oakmont of Valencia, you'll embrace retirement in style. For details, visit oakmontofvalencia.com.
We salute the combined efforts over the many years to make Castaic High School a reality. Many behind the scenes did the hard work. The past and current William S. Hart School Board members, Steve Sturgeon, Joe Messina, Bob Jensen, Linda Storley, and Dr. Sharice Moore, Superintendent Vicki Enbreck, Castaic Principal Melanie Hagman, and so many others. We at the Castaic High School Construction and Spirit Companies are honored you allowed us to be part of this amazing project. Now, let our kids and our teachers perform their magic.
Aloha, friends! Go check out Honu Coffee, home of the best cold brew coffee. What makes their coffee special is how their organic coffee beans are infused with nitrogen to create a smooth and delicious cup of coffee. You'll also find traditional bold coffees and island-inspired signature drinks. They're the perfect place to catch up with friends or just relax with your favorite cup of joe. Honu Coffee on Lyons and Walnut in Newhall. Stop by and say aloha.
And now for your convenience, a second Honu location at 23502 Lyons Avenue between Peachland and Apple.
Your hometown station.
Life takes us in different directions sometimes, and we may not always have computer access for breaking news. KHTS has a solution. Text alerts. Breaking news you need to know about fast. Freeway closed? We'll text you directly. Emergency police activity in the Santa Clarita Valley? We'll text you. Sign up now for text alerts at hometownstation.com. KHTS has your back.
98.1 FM and AM 1220.
You worry because your mom and dad aren't as active and are finding it more challenging to live on their own. The answer? Premier Assisted Living Community, Oakmont of Santa Clarita, now leasing. Located on Newhall Ranch Road, Oakmont of Santa Clarita, bringing comfort and luxury to assisted living. Your parents can enjoy 5-star amenities and panoramic views in a world-class community. No other assisted living community has this kind of luxury and amenities in our valley. Visit oakmontofsantaclarita.com.
At Advanced Audiology, we know how important hearing is to you, your loved ones, your work success, your safety, and your ability to stay in the game. Most people won't admit hearing loss to themselves or others. We make it easy for you. Today's digital hearing aids come in a variety of styles, including invisible. All feature-rich, providing unparalleled hearing quality, wearing comfort, and automation that simplifies your life. Don't be fooled by our imitators. There's only one Advanced Audiology with the purple sign next to AAA on Valencia Boulevard.
Your hometown station.
Will you still need me? Will you still feed me when I'm 64?
Good morning and welcome back to the Senior Hour. I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host Dr. Jean Dorio on your hometown station 98.1 FM, AM 1220 KHTS. And our guest now, sitting in for Nola Aronson of Advanced Audiology, is Steve Lettau. Welcome, Steve. It's good to see you again.
Yeah, thanks, Barbara. It's good to see you and Dr. Dorio again. Thank you.
And Nola is tripping the light fantastic in Florida.
She is.
Oh,
But she's
ho,
complaining
ho.
about the humidity.
Come home,
Oh,
Nola.
yes.
Yes.
It is extremely humid on the East Coast. I used to live there, I know.
Me too.
So what is our subject matter this morning?
Well, I thought we would talk about the lunch and learn that we're having, and I'd like to just tell the folks about it. And how Advanced Audiology is different is we don't just sell hearing aids, but what we like to do is we like to educate first the public, and then what we'd like to do is provide a solution for people. So what we do is we listen to the patient, and we provide a really good alternative for them. Now, the lunch and learn I was speaking of is on November 12th at our office at 23822 Valencia Boulevard, Suite 103. Look for the purple sign, of course. So please call 661-253-EARS or 661-253-3277 and tell them that you heard us on the radio.
Cool.
And this is a lunch and learn.
Lunch and learn. So we provide the food. All you have to do is just come on in. And of course, this time of the year is a great time to come with the holidays coming up.
That's right, because you're going to be around lots of people. And if you cannot hear, you're going to be embarrassed.
Well, that's true. I know I have an 85% hearing loss, and if I didn't have these devices, I don't know what I would do.
But you know, if all of us in terms of healthcare want to educate the public, but it's so common with those who have a hearing deficit to not realize they have a hearing deficit.
That's right.
And so, you know, putting it out there that one should at least have a screening test for hearing is so important. And if anything it does for you, it gives you a baseline for later down the line to see how your hearing has maintained itself or how potentially it has not, and you might need to have some kind of assisted device to be able to help you out.
Well, I agree. We do 2,500 free hearing screenings every year at our office. And one of the things, and I know you know this, Dr. Dorio and Barbara, is that hearing loss is actually the third leading disability behind heart disease and diabetes. And the reason that people just ignore hearing is because heart disease and diabetes are life-threatening and hearing isn't. Oh, I can hear everybody but my wife.
But actually, it can be life-threatening.
It can be.
Yes.
Yep.
In many instances, I mean, if you're walking down the street and if you don't happen to look both ways and you're in the middle of the street and here comes a car.
Oh, yeah.
Or you don't hear the ambulance.
Oh, yeah.
That's
or
right.
Police car coming by. Or let's say you're at your doctor's and your doctor says take 1 pill a day and you interpret it as 3 pills a day. That's a problem.
That's right. It is.
Even though it might say it on the prescription, if you, as Shannon said in the last part of the program, some people don't read well because they have macular degeneration or cataracts. They might not read it, might have heard it wrong, and boom, it's dangerous.
Well, I know right close to home, my mother-in-law is now on a living residence in Santa Clarita now, and she's been living by herself for 10 years. And we just had her cataracts fixed, and she can see the words, but the cognitive decline doesn't allow her to be able to read anymore, which was her first love. If she had done something about it 10 years ago, you know, as far as interaction with other people, she might not be suffering from the same condition.
I wonder, though, then this is a sidelight of our discussion, if we can retrain her brain to be able to read now that she has her vision back. Just a curiosity.
That's a really good point, Dr. Dorio.
Yeah, I'll come over and read to her.
Yeah, that'd be great.
No, honestly, you know, that it might just take, if she's having used to do it, I believe that 10% of the neurons in her brain are being used, 90% are not, and there's a lot of evidence-based information to show that. But if we train ourselves and we can retrain parts of our brain to do it, she could get that that cherished involvement that she's had before in the past.
Right.
A thought.
Yeah, because I know you've seen her yourself, and I really appreciate that offer. You know, on a positive note, I've got a really nice success story a friend of mine gave me about his wife, and we fit her with some hearing devices, and he wrote a success story, and for the first time ever, she heard the grandkids at Christmas.
Oh, wow. That's great.
That gives me cold chills.
Uh-huh.
Oh, good
Gives
heavens.
me warm chills. That's great.
Oh, my goodness. That's so critical because it's so important at a holiday season like that to be able to hear everything that everybody is saying, especially the grandkids and the great-grandkids.
Sure, absolutely.
It's so extremely important. It really is.
We all have really fond memories of the holiday season, and we certainly don't want to miss anything with the grandkids, because you can always tell when someone's got a hearing problem because they sit in the corner and nod their head and smile, haven't heard a word you said.
That's right.
And what a shame for them to lose out.
Yes, And
You know,
it's
sometimes I remember always being taught, you know, step in somebody's shoes and you know what their problems are, what their life is like. And at times I remember as a younger kid, you know, we would put a mask on so we couldn't see and to show ourselves what it was like to be blind. And we never did it with hearing, but, you know, it would be interesting for people just to find out on their own if they put like earplugs in their ears and walked around for a day to see how it affects their life, because it's a very negative effect. And I think people, having now been put into somebody else's shoes, will realize, you know, their loved one and even themselves might be facing a hearing loss that is having a marked effect on how their whole quality of life and how they are getting through their life. So a thought, you know, if you're wondering what it's like for grandma or grandpa not to be able to hear, put some earplugs in for a few hours and see what that is like. It's a terrible sense to lose when we, you know, could do something about it.
Well, you're right, Gene. It could actually affect things like balance, for example. If somebody hears a sudden noise and all of a sudden, you know, they trip and fall. And there's a new manufacturer that's got a hearing device out there that actually programs 3 phone numbers into the hearing aid. So in case a senior who's living alone does fall, it sends a signal right to a loved one so they can come over and help the person.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's technology for you.
Sure is.
It really is, especially because, you know, you get those things that you hang around your neck, and if you push the button, it alerts.
Right.
But let's
critical people, maybe, you know, the son and daughter or the neighbor or even the emergency people.
Well, I actually had a situation where my dad, when I was living in Florida, this was many years ago, he actually did trip and fall in the middle of the night, fell on top of the dog. The dog bit him, and he laid there all night until I called him the next morning, and I didn't know why he didn't answer the phone, so I jumped in the car and went over there, and there he was laying on the floor for 5 or 6 hours.
Yeah,
and the dog had bitten him.
Because the dog was surprised.
Oh,
the dog
yeah,
was
scared the dog.
sleeping at the foot of the bed, and he tripped and fell and right on top of the dog. So, anyway.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, but let's talk about a little bit about the difference between services that are rendered by Advanced Audiology and those that you might get somewhere else, but how that service differs, because there's a big difference in, you know, putting a few earphones into your ears and expecting miraculous changes to occur versus someone who's highly specialized in assuring that certain things are not a problem, but bringing them up to par with a normal hearing human being.
Well, to answer your question, Gene, the difference between an audiologist and a hearing instrument specialist is a hearing instrument specialist just takes a test and passes, and they can fit hearing aids, but they can't do any diagnosis. And a lot of times people will come in and they may have a medical issue that needs to be diagnosed, and if you're not an audiologist, you can't do that. We had one woman that came in to us that we diagnosed, and she had an acoustic neuroma, a tumor, and if we hadn't diagnosed that, she might not still be with us. So one of the things that we do at our place is that we do not just a screening, but we actually do a full diagnostic, because some people can hear sounds just fine, but they can't distinguish words. It's speech discrimination.
That's right.
Especially like teachers, because teachers, you know, the kids talk 90 miles an hour, and they talk in such high frequencies that the teachers can't hear. So they'll pass the hearing part of the test as far as sounds, but they don't pass as far as the actual words themselves. Now, the other thing we do is it's not just, well, goodbye, thanks a lot, we're done. We're going to go ahead and do regular maintenance so that people can come in whenever they want to, and if they have an adjustment that needs to be done, or if they just need their hearing aids cleaned, from 9 to 10, 4 to 5, Monday through Friday, we'll go ahead and clean them because we want them to operate at top performance. It's like your automobile. You're going to take your automobile in for an oil change. It's kind of the same thing. So what we try to do is not only diagnose the problem and provide the solution, but continuing relationship. So once we go ahead and fit the patient, we're partners for life.
Cool. And that's a big difference.
Yeah.
That's service.
Right.
You know.
Well, I know some of the big box stores, they have hearing instrument specialists, and they don't accept insurance, and you have to pay for them up front, and as far as getting back into the place, they're only open Monday through Friday, and if someone needs a special appointment, why, we live 5 blocks from the office, so we've met many patients on Saturday and sometimes even Sundays, and that's not something you're going to get from every place.
No, that's very true.
And one of my big gripes is that hearing aids should be paid for by Medicare, and it's not. Glasses are not. Dental work is not. And quality of life is based on being able to get through life. And every day when somebody suffers from a lack of a sense, chewing food, having good vision, and being able to hear, these enhance one's quality of life.
Absolutely.
And when you don't have that, you suffer. There's no doubt about that. And should Medicare pay for that? Well, of course they should. And we can calculate how much that will cost and figure out then what the source of the income, the source of the funding will be. But we don't even think about it. We don't even talk about it. And we need to bring that forward to our legislators, that somebody needs to say something. Now, one of the political candidates must be reading the articles I write, because they said all 3 of those things at one point, which was great. That was a few months ago.
Right.
So I was happy about that. But, it's going to take a tidal wave to be able to put something like that through. And if we don't do that as older adults in this community, as well as the state and the federal government, a lot of the people around us are going to suffer for it. And I think to a certain degree they might even die because of it. So I'm very much for the thought of looking into how we can afford as a society to assure that people can hear, people can see, and people can chew. How we do that, I don't know, but it's a fight that we have to take up.
Well, I agree, Dr. Dorio, and one of the things that I find is that with like Medicare and things, they're gonna cover a very low-end hearing aid, and a lot of times what happens is the provider will want to go ahead and sell something, not us, but other places, and they'll sell them a hearing aid that's inappropriate, and they can't hear any better than if they didn't wear anything at all. So my concern is that if Medicare goes ahead and starts including the coverage, are they going to cover just the bottom of the barrel just so they can say they have hearing aid coverage?
No.
Or is it going to be
We won't
the
let that
appropriate
happen.
device?
No, we're going to have an appropriate device. That's worthy. One. Secondly, if there are higher level devices, then you have to pay augmented price for that. The same thing happens with cataracts. You go to see your eye doctor, and Medicare will pay for cataract surgery, but there are some lenses that are better than others, and some your eye doctor will say, but these aren't covered, but this is what you could have, and then it's up to the individual. But for the baseline, cataract surgery and lens works, and my patients who have baseline care can drive again. They can read again. They can watch television again. So it's going to work. We just have to say, this is what baseline is, and we have to be able to get Medicare to pay for that baseline. And it's not going to be cheap stuff. It's going to be adequate stuff to get them through life. And once again, people have a little bit extra money and want to pay a little bit extra money. Let them do that. But we have to figure that out. To me, doing that is not that hard, but you have to have people who will stand up and wave that banner.
I'm with you, Dr. Dorio. I believe the absolute same thing. I've been wearing hearing aids for 46 years. And before I met NOLA, I was wearing bottom of the line, and I wasn't hearing very well. And in fact, the hearing aids were so old, we nicknamed them Fred and Barney.
Yabba dabba doo.
Oh my
How
gosh.
appropriate.
So now I have top of the line, and we do a great deal of networking because we love giving back to this community. And when we go to networking events, I can be in a very noisy environment or a very noisy restaurant, and I can hear as well as the next person. I can actually direct the conversation so it's just right with that person, or I can make it 360.
And that's a good feeling to have.
I don't worry about it. It's not something, but I did before. I used to, when I'd get a promotion on my job, I'd go in, the first thing I'd do is test the phones. Can I use the phones? Can I hear on the phone?
Wow.
Because 90% of my business was done on the phone.
I would never think of that, but that's absolutely correct.
That's right.
Well, I used to kind of joke with the interviewer. I said, do you mind? I need to make a phone call. Can I use your phone?
Aha. Pretty cool.
Well, that's a good way.
It was a consideration for sure.
Yes,
You know,
absolutely.
But, eyes and ears do go together. And, because with one of them being deficient, people don't have that quality of life like the two of you mentioned. And quality of life is everything, especially when we get into the golden years.
Yep.
That's right. And sometimes the golden years aren't so golden.
They aren't.
And we need to take a break. So we'll be back in a few minutes and we'll be speaking with Steve Lettau. I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host, Dr. Jean Dorio, on your hometown station, 98.1 FM, AM 1220, KHTS.
Do you ever listen, but you're not really paying attention? Sort of like what you're doing to me right now. This is Alex Urbina, your advanced life coach specialist. One of the most frequent questions I hear is, what is a life coach? Well, tune in every Friday at noon to learn the value of having a coach and listen to a live coaching session on the radio. Right here on your hometown station, KHTS.
The Art Gallery of Santa Clarita Artists Association, located in downtown Newhall on 6th Street between Railroad and Main, features local members' original artwork with changing exhibits every 2 months. Purchase affordable art for your home or as gifts. Open Friday through Sunday or by appointment. Artists wishing to join the SCAA can visit santaclaritaartist.org, come to our free monthly meetings at Barnes & Noble, or stop by the gallery. For upcoming shows, check us out at santaclaritaartist.org. We make visual art visible.
This is a Rita's Daybreak. There's a huge crowd at Rita's. With so many amazing flavors, every day's a treat. Let's see what folks are celebrating.
I lost my first tooth. No more training wheels. My dog photo got 37 likes.
3 kids, 3 activities, 0 meltdowns. There you have it. Layer it, blend it, or drink it with Italian ice and creamy custard. So many reasons to celebrate at Rita's. This has been a Rita's Daybreak.
At Advanced Audiology, we know how important hearing is to you, your loved ones, your work success, your safety, and your ability to stay in the game. Most people won't admit hearing loss to themselves or others. We make it easy for you. Today's digital hearing aids come in a variety of styles, including invisible. All feature-rich, providing unparalleled hearing quality, wearing comfort, and automation that simplifies your life. Don't be fooled by our imitators. There's only one Advanced Audiology with the purple sign, next to AAA on Valencia Boulevard.
It's like no other station I've ever listened to. It's great.
Your hometown station.
Will you still need me? Will you still feed me when I'm 64?
Welcome back to the Senior Hour. I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host, Dr. Jean Dorio, on your hometown station, 98.1 FM, AM 1220, KHTS. And we're speaking with Steve Lettau, who is with Advanced Audiology, and Nola is kicking her heels up in Florida, probably having a good time.
With the humidity,
But
I'm
yes, sure. I'm sure. She's sweating up a blue streak, I know, because I used to live back east. But anyway, Steve, what will we talk about in our final session?
Well, I'd like to talk about giving back to the community. You may or may not know that Nola is a 20-year breast cancer survivor. And so, Circle of Hope is really one of her passions, and she is on the board of directors there, and she, in many instances, is the title sponsor at different fundraising events and things like that. And then also the Alzheimer's Walk, we're always the title sponsor at the Alzheimer's Walk, because that's another thing, with Alzheimer's, when you see someone who physically is perfectly well and yet, has a problem with Alzheimer's or that's
dementia.
Yeah, dementia. And then when the senior center was being built, we wanted to really be part of the community. So what we did is we made a big donation for us, and we have a room that actually has our name on it. And it's kind of funny because Dr. Doyle, Robin, Chloe, you knew her very well, and there's every week somebody comes in and says, "Well, I'm here for my hearing test," and she said, "No, this is just a name on the room." And she also is on the board of directors at VIA, Valley Industry Association, and one of her pet projects there is the education for donation to our youth who are underprivileged. And what they do is they help them so that they can maybe go on to college and those sorts of things. The Chamber of Commerce, we're pretty active with the Chamber of Commerce. We're both ambassadors with the Chamber of Commerce. She's been an ambassador since 1993, and I was Ambassador of the Year in 2012 when I moved here.
What does an ambassador do?
Well,
I mean,
ambassador,
it's always in the news.
It promotes the chamber so that more businesses, because what John Masella, who is running the chamber right now, what he wants to do is have not only large groups or corporations like Henry Mayo and things like that, but they want to have small businesses.
Yeah, small business.
Yeah, because they have an actual committee that actually is comprised of small business owners.
I think there are a few doctors who are also in the chamber.
There are, absolutely.
As well.
And then we go on the annual trip, the KHTS radio trip.
The bus trip.
Yep, the bus trip, which is great.
To Sacramento.
Yeah, you get a 7-course meal on the way back. You know, you stop.
7-course meal.
Yeah, you do. You
Harris
stop.
Ranch.
You stop at In-N-Out Burger, and you get a burger, fries, a drink, napkin, knife, and fork.
7 course.
But like you were just saying about your trip up to Sacramento, the thing I like about it is we actually can talk to our legislators and talk to them about the problems and things. And one of the things that's our passion is drug prevention and rehabilitation. So we're trying to get more involved in that with a program called Drug Free World, because it's a big problem up here too. And in fact, sometimes drugs and things can actually cause hearing loss.
Absolutely.
Like, and antibiotics. And if there's a sudden hearing loss, they need to come in and see us right away, because if we don't do it right away, it
could be irreversible.
Irreversible, absolutely. We encourage people, if you have one, call us up. We'll get you in right away. If it's a weekend, we'll do that. No problem there. And then she also belongs to Sir Optimus. And I'm probably forgetting others because she belongs to so
Everything.
many. Oh, my God.
Everything in the community she's been a part of.
We could do something every single night. And you know what? Every one of them is a worthwhile project, because there's 100 nonprofits up here. And every one of them is deserving. So we try to divvy it up so we give something to almost everybody. In fact, we donate 10% of our proceeds every single month to a different nonprofit, because we live in this community and that sort of thing. And it was kind of funny when people ask us, well, why do you do that? I said, well, I'm a senior and I live here.
Why not?
That's right. Why not participate in more ways than one?
Right.
Other than just volunteering, donate.
Right. So I'm not sure how much time we have left, but I'd like to just reinforce that we've got that lunch and learn on November 12th on Tuesday, and if you'll call our
what
office.
What time is that again?
At November 12th.
November 12th, and
it's a Tuesday.
Is it like 12 noon or?
No, it's a lunch and learn. All the people have to do is just call up and just let the people know that they heard us on the radio, and we'll get them in that day probably. But if not, we'll schedule it another day and make sure that because we're on a mission to do 2,500 more hearing tests, because we know it's a problem.
And this hearing screen is free.
It's free.
Yeah, it's free. And this is just an opportunity in time, especially with the upcoming holidays that we have, when you're with your family, sitting around the table. You just want to be involved in that the conversations and discussions that are taking place with your grandkids and, with all the people and loved ones around you.
Well, sometimes, too, it's just wax. It's not a hearing loss. It's waxed. I kind of joke with people. I'm going to put my hand over my mouth and say, that's what somebody hears, because they've got so much wax in their ear. But it's a normal bodily function for the wax to carry dirt and contaminants out of the ear. And we can tell that right away, too. So we're going to test for that also. And then, of course, things like tinnitus, which is a major problem for people, where you get the ringing in the ears and that sort of thing.
Yes.
I get that sometimes. I get it when I'm under a lot of stress or if I'm tired. I do. Fortunately for me, it goes away, but for some people, it's incessant.
Yeah.
That's right.
Even when they sleep.
I get it every once in a while.
Yeah.
And I'm so thankful it goes away.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
Because it's miserable.
Yeah, because there are solutions. There's no cure for tinnitus, but there's solutions, things like you can listen to music and things like that so that you can get a good night's sleep. I was talking to our gardener one night, and he said his son is so bad that he has to take medication for it.
Wow.
That's really interesting.
So anyway, just give us a call at 253-3277, and just tell them you heard us on a radio show and that you want to be part of the Lunch and Learn. I'm not sure what the sandwiches will be, but I'm sure they'll be good.
And that will be held at your offices?
At our office at 23822 Valencia Boulevard, Suite 103. Look for the purple sign. We're in the Owen Patterson Troop Realty Building, right next to AAA.
Right.
And you mentioned
I
it's a
remember.
part of lunch, but it's a part of life.
It is.
Because when you can hear, you've got your life back. And there's so many of our older adults that lose their hearing and lose a part of their life. And we have to assure that as having quality of life, that that will not be gone, that we can sustain it in some way. And if people don't know about how to sustain it, then they're in trouble. That's why you are on this radio show. That's why NOLA helps to sponsor it, to keep bringing ideas and health tips to those who might need it.
You know, there's another new device, Gene, I agree with. There's another new device out by one of the manufacturers that you no longer have to, with an Android phone, you don't have to wear a separate appliance around your neck anymore, because that was one of the drawbacks with an Android phone, is you had to wear a separate appliance. Now you can actually answer your phone right from your cell phone, which is great. I do it all the time. It's wonderful.
Great, Steve. Thanks for being on the show again. Your number again is 253-3277. We are sponsored by Advanced Audiology and Comfort Keepers in Home Care. Listen to us next week on the Senior Hour. Now go and enhance your quality of life.